In my making, I'm primarily a knitter. I can crochet and I enjoy crocheting accessories and smaller items, but I always find if I tackle a crochet garment project, I just hate the way it turns out. I don't like the way the finished product looks. And if you're a regular viewer of this channel, that comes as no surprise to you. I talk about this a lot. And somebody in the comments suggested that I should try Tunisian crochet instead. And with it being winter, perfect time to do some cozy crafting, I thought I would finally give it a try. Given that I am completely new to this, I thought it's probably sensible that I start by following a tutorial. And so, of course, I turned to the queen of Tunisian crochet, at least here on YouTube anyway, Tony from TL Yarn Crafts. She has a book, she has printed patterns that are available through her website, and also a whole load of step-by-step video tutorials, and I think that is what I need for my very first project. So the tutorial that I'm going to follow is called the Kensington tote bag, and I have watched this video already to see what I need, and I have gathered my supplies. Now, if you know me, I am doing this rationing challenge and also this stash busting challenge at the same time. So I ration the new yarns I buy and I try and prioritize using up my stash. However, I didn't have anything appropriate in my stash for this pattern. I tried to find the recommended yarn, however, it's from a brand that is not easy to get hold of in the UK. Or at least I've hardly ever seen it stocked. I did manage to get some secondhand, so no coupons spent, on Vinted. The pattern called for Lion Brand Wool Ease, which is what I thought I bought the right one of, but I've bought the roving version. So the two that I got are these two. Massive balls of wool, right? They're 312 grams each. So that would be a lot to add to the stash if I didn't use them up right away. I'm hoping I'm going to use them up right away, and if I don't, I think I'm just going to de-stash them immediately, because I don't tend to use chunky roving style yarns. I'm also a little bit nervous now about whether this is going to work for Tunisian crochet or not, because I also bought secondhand hooks. Just in terms of saving money and resources, you know, if I have no idea whether I'm going to enjoy this process or if I'm going to be any good at it or want to do it again. So I didn't want to spend a lot of money on an expensive set of Tunisian crochet hooks. And for this pattern, I need a 12mm hook. And so I bought a cheap plastic one secondhand. I have no idea whether you can see or not that it's that kind of mass-produced plastic where there's a lot of uneven sections, and I get the feeling that is not gonna gel nicely with the roving yarn. But this is an experiment, let's see how it goes. I'm excited, actually, to be trying something new. It's been a little while since I've done one of these. And Tony is the best teacher, so I know I am in safe hands. Oh my goodness, these balls of wool are so big I can hardly get them in frame, but these are the colours I have. So this is a 2-colour project. You have an A colour and a B colour, and I'm going with what I could get. I wouldn't usually do blue and green. I'm a believer in the adage, blue and green should never be seen, but I've got to decide whether I want the bag to be mostly blue, sort of like have a little bit of blue at the bottom and be mostly green, or the other way around. I mean, personally, my favourite colour is green, and I prefer the green, and I suppose it is kind of Christmassy. Actually, I think let's have the green at the bottom and the blue at the top, largely because it looks like the blue shows up a bit better on camera than the green. Don't think we need to go shopping for yarn, so let's skip ahead a little bit. Hang on. I've not got all my supplies. Well, I suppose I can use my fabric scissors. No, I shouldn't use my fabric scissors. This is acrylic. Oh, where have I put the scissors? I would lose my head if it was not attached to my body. Well, I found a tapestry needle. I mean, fabric scissors it is because I can't find any others.
Grab your B color and create a slip knot.
Hang on. So this is the blue is my B color. Yeah, that's good because B for blue. Create a slip knot. Got my crochet hook. Okay, exactly the same as a crochet chain. 12. 1, 2, 3. Oh, springy. 12. That's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is annoying.
7, side.
Oh, okay.
We'll use this set of 12 chains in our handle. Make a second set of 12 chains and set.
So I'm making the handles, first of all. Right. So far, so good. 2 handles complete. I'm going to set those over there. What's next? Okay, so I have my foundation chain. My understanding from watching the videos is that Tunisian crochet, or Tunisian, as I may now be mispronouncing it, rather than in crochet where you work into a stitch, complete a stitch, move on to the next stitch, you sort of pick up stitches all along the row and then you actually complete them on a return row. So unlike traditional crochet where you would complete every stitch and then to go back the other way you would flip the work around, in Tunisian crochet you keep the right side facing you at all times. And so you're sort of zigzagging back from left to right or from right to left over and over again. Whereas in traditional crochet, you're only going from right to left, turning it from right to left, turning it from right to left. I'm also told that this pattern is not typical, according to our esteemed teacher. So I'm going to give it a go, but don't expect me to explain what I'm doing. So we pull up a loop, and we pull up a loop, and we pull up a loop. And we pull up. I mean, so far so good. Yeah, already I can feel this roving yarn catching on the uneven plastic of the hook. Oh wow, it feels weird to crochet with stitches underneath your hand. I mean, I'm obviously used to it from knitting, but why does that feel so alien? And I suppose this is why I've got this long thing now, isn't it? I suppose if you're making something bigger than a bag, you would use all of that space. I'm with you now. Okay. That one was a bit tight. So my tension is a bit all over the place. Oh, that was one thing she said as well, to not make it too tight. Right. Okay, we're at the end. Now what do I do? So now I'm going back the other way. So I chain 1 to begin with. And then it's a bit like if you do a crochet cast off edge in knitting, I suppose, but backwards. I feel like already my experience is hindered by having bought a naff crochet hook. Okay, until I have one loop. So that's my foundation complete. Interesting, so I am doing not a standard Tunisian crochet stitch, I am doing a knit stitch, which is slightly different. So I don't know if you can see, I've made them deliberately loopy. So the videos that I've done in the experimenting I've done before I started this video. As you know, you never film the first attempt. So I did a little sample and you went through like this, sort of from side to side through these little bars that you've made. But this time we're going front to back. So we're going through here like that. Was that a bit suggestive? Sorry. I'll use the hook. We're going like that. Huh? Okay. I've got you. And the same thing, I'm pulling up a whole row of loops before I finish all my stitches. Is that right? Am I doing that right? Mine looks like Tony's. I think in terms of how easy this is, I think knowing how to crochet, I was going to say in the traditional sense, but I don't know. I mean, I suppose it's not like a variation of ordinary crochet, is it? Do you know what I mean? Just crochet. But I don't really want to call it ordinary crochet. I don't know. The way the crochet method that I'm accustomed to, I tell you what, let's phrase it like this. already having experience of some crochet techniques has made this a lot easier. I think if you were a brand new sort of yarn crafter, this might be a little bit hard to get your head round, because it reminds me of that meme from Bridgerton. When I get to a tricky part of the crochet pattern and it says, insert the hook in this place, and then there's the Bridgerton girl going, inserts himself where? I feel like that would apply to this. What's happening with me? Hang on, I've got to watch the video. Hopefully I've done it right. I think I have. Right, okay. Let's go back the way we came. I can't figure out if the reason why I keep like dropping the yarn, particularly when I'm going back on myself, is because I like haven't mastered the sort of hooking, twisting action for traveling in this direction, or if it's just because this hook's a bit naff and the gap isn't big enough. Because, oh, see, dropped a stitch. From what I can see, you need quite a loose tension. Is mine too loose? Do I need to be a bit tighter? I think we'll carry on as is for now. Oh, see again. Why does my fourth finger hurt? Oh, I've got a paper cut, that's why. Okay, we're nearly there. Haha. Okay. It's so springy. What do you think? I think I've done it right. Looks like Tony's. It creates such an interesting fabric because you've got like pearl bumps on the back like you were knitting. And yet you've also got sort of like, can you see there? There is almost like a crochet chain going through these stitches. It's fascinating. I have relocated to a more comfortable position so that I can sit underneath the electric blanket. It is freezing, bitterly cold today. So I am sort of only doing what I did before over and over again anyway, so not the most interesting for you. So I tell you what, let's reunite when I've got to change colour. How's that sound? Almost did it wrong straight away. So the light is fading, but I can't believe it just looks like knitting. But this is, I promise, Tunisian crochet. So, I mean, you can kind of tell slightly that it's not knitting from the back more than the front, but doesn't that just look like garter stitch? Obviously it curls up in the opposite direction, but I'm really impressed. I'm really pleased with how quickly I picked this up as well. I've gotten to the stage in the pattern where I need to change colour to the navy blue. And so I'll have to figure out how I do a colour change. Oh, how annoying is this, right? So I got to a join in the wool. It happens, right? Commercial yarn, it's par for the course, right? And I'm thinking this is not very expensive yarn. The next join was there. So they had tied in this tiny little bit. I just took it out, and thankfully I sort of ran out perfectly at the end of the row. So I've got some extra ends to weave in. But I don't know how you do a colour change in Tunisian crochet. It's hard to say Tunisian crochet without getting a bump. I'm sure Tony will tell me, but it's so squishy and soft in this. I'm not sure it's going to be an ideal project bag, but we'll see. So yes, I've gone one stitch too far in my return row. Still can't find my little snips. That's worrying me because I like those snips. So that's enough of the green for now. And now we introduce the blue. And look, yeah, it is just like ordinary crochet. Ready to go in blue with no jog, hopefully. So I should double check how many rows I have to do. Teach me, Tony. 28 total rows, so I want to do 18 more in the blue. Oh, that end's ended up a bit short. Let's... It is so bitterly cold. I can feel the draft from the window behind you. So here we are, day 2. I'm nearly at the point where I can, I need to do the handles. I think I've got 2 or 3, or like 2.5 rows to do. So I had to stop this last night just because it got so dark. It got so dark and couldn't see what I was doing. So no point straining my eyes. But let's hope I can remember everything I was supposed to do. Now that it's daylight, can you see it a bit better? Looks good, right? I mean, it's curling up a bit at the bottom, but I'm quite pleased with that. I'm not sure about the blue and the green together, but oh well. You know, it's all right for a first attempt at a project. Right, so this is where I need my handles, and I have to work into the back of them. So I don't know if you can see. That's the front crochet chain. You would crochet either through here or through here, like this. I'm going to turn it over and work through there all the way along. I think, at least. Teach me, Tony.
Chains.
Okay, so I'm pulling up loops all along the bottom of my handle. 1, 2. Oh, is that one there? Because I made these first, the tension's a bit dodge. 4. Have I missed one? I think I might have missed one.
Then we'll knit each of the remaining
Okay, I've missed one. Did I miss one? Of course. It's the other end. Yay! Okay, right, so 1, 2, I'm catching up with you at the end. I'm getting frustrated. 12! I did it! Yay! Okay. I imagine I start here again. And then there, yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. Yeah, okay, we've got 8, so, I mean, good enough for me. And that's where we get the handle! Oh my god, that's so clever. Okay, so chain 1, and we do the return. Lovely. 2 more rows. Okay, then. 2 more rows. This feels really quick. It feels quicker than crochet, but then I think that's just because you're not doing a million yarn overs for every stitch. It's probably about the same because you've got to go do the return row. It's also possibly because this is super bulky yarn and I never work in yarn this chunky. Excuse that all the neighbours' dogs. I am surrounded by people who have reactive dogs. And it's a Thursday and my neighbour's gardener comes on a Thursday, and so it's always a bit... for the dogs as a result of that. They're like, let me out. Let me go and see what he's doing. He's digging. I love digging. I'm not allowed to dig. So unfair. Two and a half minutes to do a row and a return row. Not too shabby. I finished the first half of the bag. Oh, I'm really pleased with it. I think it looks great. I've bound off and I've woven in all the ends. That was a bit tricky figuring out how to do that, but I've done it. And now, very cleverly, I'm going to go back to this bottom edge and work in the opposite direction to make the other half of the bag. And then we sew it up. I mean, the handle's quite stretchy already, so we might have to do a lining, but do you see the vision? So I'm at the stage of blocking, and the video recommends steam blocking. So I don't know whether that's a Tunisian crochet thing. I don't know if it's because it's an acrylic yarn. I'm not sure. And in the video, Tony uses a garment steamer. I don't currently have my garment steamer. I've lent it to someone to borrow. So maybe I can iron it with steam? I mean, this might be a really bad idea, but let's give it a go. So I'll just wait for my little iron to warm up and start steaming. Oh, here we go. I should probably have pinned this, but it's not really big enough to fit on the ironing board, so it's a less than ideal setup, okay? So I have a bit of an issue in that I don't really know what I'm supposed to do about this handle. Am I supposed to try and get it flat? Let's see. This is the wrong side. Steam is hot, Claude. Fucking hell. Okay. Let's leave that to cool, and then we'll do the other side. I never steam block things. It's always like in vintage knitting patterns that they just tell you to like press the pieces under a damp cloth, and I always wet block things. So I'm wondering whether, given my damp English winter problems, whether I should just do this instead. It's so bouncy. Never make anything in bulky yarn. Okay, we wait for this to cool, and then all I've got to do is sew it up. These edges are very different. Not just to like knit or crochet edges, but I mean as into each other. So trying to do a mattress stitch, but I'm not sure how successful it's going to look. I've just remembered why sewing up with roving yarn is never a good idea, because I just pulled it through and it just snapped off. So we'll have to undo that last stitch. Find a way to weave that end in, I suppose. So I'm just going to leave a bit of a tail for now, and we'll weave that in later. Oh my god, it's finished! Do you want to see? Ta-da! How does it look? Squishy, soft, sophisticated. Oh, it kind of matches my outfit. I haven't actually put anything in it yet. I'm a bit worried about, because I planned for this to be a project bag, but I mean, first of all, I get the feeling that the knitting needle, yeah. Okay. But like Coney yarn, how badly does it stretch? Quite a bit. But like for a project bag, it's not like I'm going to be lugging it around for ages, is it? It's going to be sat on a floor or a desk or something. So Perhaps I should make a lining. But I'm really pleased. I think for my first ever Tunisian crochet project, not bad. I mean, the fabric looks nice and like it's squishy. I like it. So when I'd finished the actual crocheting of this and it was sort of still in pieces ready to be worked on, I was enjoying this so much that I actually made another project. Now, I'm not sure this one is as successful. I followed another tutorial of Tony's, but I think, well, I had to adapt it because I thought it was going to be too wide. Now I think it's too narrow because it doesn't actually cover my ears. And I had like tension issues, so when I came to join it, this bit doesn't look great. So I'm contemplating trying this again and, you know, actually following the instructions and not going a bit rogue. I don't think we're there in my skill as a Tunisian crocheter to be going off piste with the patterns. I think I need a few more beginner projects. But this used a different stitch. So I don't know if you can see in this section here. This is like the traditional one or like the beginner one. So I hadn't even realised that this was sort of like step 2 in the learning process. But I'm really excited because I have a world of new possibilities. It's just a bit big, I think. It's too big in circumference, so it like slips down like that. And I think it needed to be wider. But what do you think? My Tunisian crochet projects. This was a fun one. I'm really glad that I finally took the dive on this one. I can't wait to do some more. And I've already been eyeing up some garment patterns that I've seen that are Tunisian crochet that, well, they might be good for stash busting, let's put it that way. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this has inspired you to give Tunisian crochet a try if you haven't tried it already. And thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.